The star insect juice is huge to the point that assuming you traded it with the Sun, it would overwhelm the circle of Mars and expand the entire way through the space rock belt. Don't bother overreacting, yet at 700 light-years, the nearest star to the Sun will take its life in a cosmic explosion blast. Neil deGrasse Tyson, creepy crawly juice, quite possibly of the most splendid star in the night sky, has a lovely orange-red tone. It's likewise known for its fluctuation, implying that its brilliance can change after some time. Truth be told, scarab juice can once in a while turn out to be brilliant to the point that it matches even the most splendid stars overhead, arriving at a greatness of practically 0.0. It has been said that scarab juice has detonated, and we are in for an extraordinary, unnerving experience. However, is this truly evident? How about we investigate what is going on of this wonderful sun-like design? It is fundamental for realize that the splendor of a star can differ incredibly. Take, for example, Rigel and Aldebaran. These are two stars that can have boundlessly various degrees of brilliance. At its most brilliant, Aldebaran can be just about as splendid as Rigel, however at its dimmest, it very well may be equivalent to Aldebaran. This variety in brilliance is because of various variables, including the star's size, temperature, and distance from Earth. The period being referred to went on for barely 5 years and was portrayed by huge difficulties and troubles. A portion of different variations incorporate Belair, BJWS, and Belgia. It's intriguing the way in which a similar heavenly item can have different names and spellings. The beginning of the word can be followed back to the Arabic language. As indicated by researchers, the juice finishing is thought of as the most proper for the given setting. In any case, as Arabic isn't my subject matter, I can't give any further experiences regarding this situation. Betelgeuse is a red supergiant star situated in the heavenly body Orion, roughly 6,425 light-years from Earth. Its separation from us makes it perhaps of the most considered and entrancing star in the night sky. The Hipparcos astrometric satellite has furnished us with important data about the distance of divine items. In view of its information, it has been resolved that the distance to this specific article is around 430 light-years away. This data assists us with better figuring out the immeasurability of our universe and the inconceivable distances between heavenly bodies. Insect juice is simply approximately 10 million years of age, while the Sun is 4.6 billion years of age. In spite of being essentially more youthful, scarab juice is a completely evolved star. Indeed, a cosmic explosion blast several light-years from Earth would have exceptionally pulverizing repercussions. A really huge blast can deliver light identical to an entire universe. Along these lines, in the event that one of our nearby neighbors like Alpha Centauri chose to act thusly, we were unable to overlook it. It wouldn't make any difference in the event that it sparkled as brilliantly as the moon since it would wash us in radiation, everything being equal. Yet, since 16004, we have not noticed a cosmic explosion in our universe. By the by, in 19871, one ejected in the enormous haze of Magellan with impacts that could be obviously seen even a ways off of 169,000 light-years. G22.0 in addition to 1.8 cosmic explosion remainders are the extras when stars detonate as supernovae. This one is a phenomenal assortment with a great deal of oxygen. In spite of the fact that there was no gamble, it is lucky that the enormous cloud is so distant. The peril zone around a run-of-the-mill cosmic explosion is a fascinating idea to work with. Presently, it would be somewhere near 100 light-years. Yet, as I'm a selenographer as opposed to an astrophysicist, I could have assessed it erroneously. Alpha Centauri is still close enough, while Betelgeuse would be out of reach. Regardless, it appears to be protected to express Betelgeuse's blast. Presently, this actually doesn't respond to the main question. Has Scarab Squeeze truly detonated? The red supergiant star that is nearest to Earth is Scarab Juice. It will ultimately detonate, however, when creepy crawly juice began diminishing considerably in late 2019, which caused fervor from one side of the planet to the other. Certain individuals thought the significant occasion was going to happen in light of the impossible to miss creepy crawly juice darkening. Be that as it may, creepy crawly juice has not yet ejected from that point forward. This conspicuous star in the Orion Tracker heavenly body has recuperated, lit up, and has all the earmarks of being currently changing back to a less dynamic condition. Notwithstanding, clearly more darkening could happen out of the blue. The tracker's right shoulder is effortlessly recognized since it is set apart continuously most brilliant star in Orion. Betelgeuse emanates a red hint. It is all around situated for review in the initial not many months of each and every year at night sky. Not entirely settled, subsequent to looking at information from NASA's Hubble Space Telescope and various different observatories, that the radiant red supergiant star Bug Squeeze truly blipped its top in 2019. Betelgeuse made a monstrous surface mass discharge (SMME) and lost a critical piece of its noticeable surface. This conduct in a star has until recently never been noticed. A coronal mass launch (CME), which happens regularly on our Sun, is an interaction where a piece of the Sun's shaky external air, the crown, is blown away. Be that as it may, scarab juice catapulted 400 billion times more mass than a typical CME. Subsequently, apparently a haze of hot gas that the star delivered and briefly covered a portion of the star's light created the odd obscuring of insect juice. Albeit a few evaluations place it farther away, insect juice might be essentially as neighboring as 724 light-years from Earth. Deciding the distances of red supergiant stars like scarab juice is a difficult subject in cosmology. Notwithstanding being far away, scarab juice is quite possibly of the most splendid star overhead because of its inborn brightness. It is multiple times more brilliant than the Sun. Such brightness has an expense since scarab juice's monstrous energy before long exhausts its fuel, hurrying the finish of its presence. The star will ultimately run out of fuel, break down under its own weight, and afterward detonate breathtakingly as a cosmic explosion. Scarab juice will then, at that point, become very splendid for half a month or months, perhaps matching the splendor of the full moon and becoming noticeable in the daytime. Why creepy crawly juice became dimmer in 2019. The Ball star experienced adjustments in late 2019, turning out to be prominently dimmer. This clear size went from 0.5 to 1.7. From the get-go in 2020, the red supergiant started to re-establish its brilliance, stopping this downfall. A few people accepted that the star may be set to eject because of this unexplained event. The VT was used by cosmologist Miguel Montage and his group to decide why this happened with insect juice. They guarantee there are two clarifications for this. The tremendous convective cells of the star delivered hot and cold regions on its surface, which was the main clarification. The enormous diminishing episode was likewise brought about by a dust storm that darkened the starlight according to our point of view. This cloud was likewise made by bug juice. It is as yet indistinct precisely when insect juice will eject. Then again, the cosmic explosion blast would be apparent on Earth in any event, during the daytime since it is somewhat near us regarding heavenly distance. Luckily, on the grounds that Earth is in excess of 500 light-years away, this enormous blast of issue will not anally affect us. Astrophysicists gauge that for a cosmic explosion to anally affect Earth, it should be around 50 light-years away. The red hypergiant VY Canis Majoris showed superb diminishing episodes in 2021, very much like scarab juice. The clarification for this, as per NASA's Hubble Space Telescope, was like insect juice's blurring. However, it was simply occurring on a far bigger scope. What time will it go off? In all probability, it will not happen during our lifetimes. Notwithstanding, no one really knows when it will explode. Could happen today or in 1 million years. Scarab juice is approaching the finish of its life cycle and could explode any time in the following 100,000 years. But since it has radically diminished during the beyond couple of months, it has drawn a great deal of consideration. Scarab juice throbs, and it has done this previously. Hence, it isn't surprising that it has reduced. Yet, this particular blurring has ended up being exceptional. Creepy crawly juice is quite possibly of the most splendid star overhead, sparkling at a size of 0.69 and positioning 11th among the most brilliant stars. Nonetheless, latest evaluations demonstrate that it has lessened to about greatness 1.7, eliminating it from the best 21. Scarab juice has thus become curiously faint. Bug juice's strange star blurring has been examined in the media, with hypotheses proliferating that it very well might be an indication that the star is ready to detonate as a cosmic explosion. Most expert cosmologists and astrophysicists, in any case, don't acknowledge this hypothesis and figure that the star will ultimately get back to business as usual. Since the current diminishing is brought about by different sources like a blast of gas or residue, or varieties in the splendor of the star's surface, accordingly, despite the fact that creepy-crawly juice is set to break down at last, established researchers concurs, not at any point in the near future. How about we expect? What might occur assuming that bug squeeze at last popped? What might we see and feel from here on the planet? In the years 106, 1054, and 1572, the three most brilliant supernovae at any point found in our skies previously showed up. Every one of these stars was either just about as splendid as Venus at its most brilliant or was comparable to it. They were all, in any case, a large number of light-years separated. Bug juice, nonetheless, is only 640 light-years far off. This truly intends that assuming the star were to detonate out of nowhere, it would turn out to be incredibly splendid, perhaps moving toward the splendor of the full moon, and produce particular shadows, even through the brilliance of the daytime sky. It would be effectively evident. Before very long, where we once saw insect juice, we could see a diffused fix of weak light. That would be the strongly hot, recently uncovered center of the star, encompassed by an extending haze of vaporous garbage. It would at first show up at this astonishing splendor for 2 or 90 days. Then, at that point, throughout the accompanying 2 or 3 years, it would slowly blur from view. Assuming there could have been no different repercussions on our planet, that would be the degree of the blast. In general, creepy-crawly juice is fortunate to be where it is comparable to us and not nearer, say, than Capella, an exceptionally radiant yellowish star that crosses above around midnight. The distance is just 43 light-years. History, folklore, and mainstream society of scarab juice. Arabic is the language that brought about the naming of numerous unmistakable stars. This reality is illustrative of the transcendent position held by Arabic stargazers and crystal gazers during Europe's dull ages. The expression bug juice comes from an Arabic expression that is commonly delivered in English as the armpit of the Goliath. This expression is where the name bug juice begins. A few researchers accept that creepy-crawly juice is intended to be viewed as a hand or even a shoulder on occasion. This is as opposed to the normal understanding that the monster connects with Orion. Bug juice is the name of the star that shows up on the right shoulder of Orion on numerous more established star maps. The importance of the name isn't completely perceived. It isn't startling that most of depictions of scarab juice have a physical relationship, since Orion is generally regularly connected with a Goliath, a champion, a tracker, a divine being, or another human or creature figure in the old stories. Despite the fact that it was undoubtedly the leg of a stag, the Sanskrit expression for this design likewise alluded to it as an arm. For example, in certain districts of Brazil, the heavenly body bug juice was viewed as the front leg of a turtle or the back leg of a caiman, a types of crocodile. Insect juice, then again, was believed to be an indispensable part of the outline of the edge of a stately drum. In old Japan, creepy-crawly juice addresses a removed appendage of a man figure. In the Americas, the Tupi of Brazil alludes to the star grouping as Zak Kawaii, a legend whose leg was removed by his better half. With the differed brilliance of scarab juice related with the removal, the Lakota nation of North America saw it likewise as a boss with a cut-off arm. Scarab juice is alluded to as the sodden one in Sanskrit, which is additionally the name of the Hindu soothsaying's Ardra lunar house. The star was managed by the tempest god Rudra, whose relationship with Orion's turbulent demeanor was made by 19th-century cosmology aficionado Richard Hinckley Allen. In Macedonian practice, the star grouping represents trained animals and farmland, addressing the way of life in the towns. Insect juice, alongside the rest of Orion, which showed a furrow drawn by bulls, was referred to them as Aurak, the cultivator. In the pre-fall and late summer, the ascending of scarab juice at around 3 o'clock in the first part of the day flagged the ideal opportunity for residents to continue to the fields and furrow. For the Inuit, the start of spring and the stretching days in late February and early walk were announced creepy-crawly juice and Betelgeuse ascending high in the southern sky after dusk. Individuals from North Baffin Island and the Melville Promontory, specifically, alluded to the two stars as those two set far separated, or those two put due to their separation from each other. Old societies from one side of the planet to the other observed the contradicting places of Orion and Scorpius, as well as the dazzling red variable stars Creepy-Crawly-Juice and Antares that connect to them. Orion's setting and Scorpius rising address Orion's death because of the scorpion. They represent the restricting in siblings Xin and Shang in Chinese culture. The main new moon following Orion's belt's plunge beneath the skyline, while bug juice was still, flagged the story of a chicken was seen by the Bach of Sumatra as the beginning of the new year. Scarab juice and Antares positions at one or the flip side of the divine circle were believed to be critical, and their star groupings were deciphered as a couple of scorpions, and scorpion days assigned as evenings with perceivability for the two heavenly bodies.